Yo, so guys, welcome back to another video. It's been a few days, but I mean, yeah, we're back. And if you know, you know. It's been a tough few days for me. Finally recovering. Still a bit gutted to be honest, but it is what it is, right? Gotta get on with life, just gotta move on. And we're here with a sort of a shorter video. I mean, this isn't gonna be a long one, but I just saw this pop up and I thought to myself, I mean, it's just confused me to be honest, because I don't really know. I feel like this was mentioned in a previous video, but I don't actually know the reasoning behind it. And maybe I have seen why before, but I just don't remember. And I'm kind of baffled by it because it seems like such a silly thing. Why US produced eggs are banned across Europe and vice versa. I mean, it's either something really weird of the eggs in like Europe or in the UK, or eggs in the US. Like I'm just confused what the differences could be. I mean, it's just chickens, right? Maybe it's how the chickens are sort of raised or whatever. I don't know if there's like rules around that. Maybe if they're raised in poor conditions, they're not allowed to be in the US, or not allowed to be in the UK or Europe or whatever. But I mean, we're gonna see. And I mean, yeah, hopefully you're going to enjoy. Quick shout out to my Instagram, my Twitter, links in the description for those interested. If you want to see me sad, yeah, go to my Instagram. I posted a few things there of me being very sad, pictures and depressing times for me. I'm not gonna lie, but we've got to move on. But yeah, man, I'm interested. I mean, it's just a weird topic, but let's just jump into it, man.
In the United States, the United States Department of Agriculture, or the USDA, lays out regulations for how food products should be produced and processed to ensure food safety. The United States Food and Drug Administration, or the FDA, on the other hand, determines the best food consumption practices to minimize health problems.
So I guess already what they're saying is the US, there's a lot more rules behind it? I don't know. Let's just leave it. Why am I jumping in already?
Ironically, they also determine how much rat hair should be allowed in peanut butter, rat feces in your spices, and cigarette butts in your sandwich. Unless you find more than 30 insect fragments or 1 rodent hair per 100 grams of peanut butter, 9 milligrams of rodent poop per 1 kilogram of wheat, 75 mites per 100 grams of dried mushrooms,
What?
1 maggot per 100 grams of tomato juice, and 13 insect heads every 100 grams of fig paste, the FDA expects you to compromise with the situation because, well, no food practice is perfect, humans make mistakes, restricting food laws will increase food prices, and bugs aren't that gross. Some of them are quite healthy. At the same time, the USDA has laid out guidelines for how commercial eggs should be produced, processed, and stored to make sure eggs remain safe for public consumption. The UK has their own regulations, but their regulations are quite opposite to those in the US, making it illegal for eggs produced in the UK to be sold in the US and those produced in the US to be sold
weird. So I don't know. I mean, we're going to see why, but I mean,
in the UK. But if guidelines in both the cases are made for food safety and are in the public interest, why are they so contrasting to one another? Which of them is the right practice, or are both of them equally good? In the case of American eggs, the USDA requires its egg farms to properly wash and sanitize their eggs before they reach consumers in order to remove any dirt and
which is a good thing, because in the UK, I'm telling you one thing for sure, you'll buy eggs and they are not like this. Sorry, they are like this. They're not clean, bro. They are dirty on the outside, and that's, again, some may not be, some may like be cleaned before, but whenever I buy them, because I usually buy the cheap ones, I'm not gonna lie, they are dirty,
feces on the exterior of the eggs. These contaminants are bacterial in nature and may pose a food safety threat when they enter a kitchen environment. For instance, one may crack open an egg and then proceed to prepare a sandwich with those bacteria-ridden hands. Also, eggshells are porous, so there's a possibility of microbes leaking in.
So that's definitely a better thing to have in the US, right? 100%.
Inside the egg. As per the regulation, eggs are washed with warm water at least 20 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than the internal temperature of the eggs and at a minimum of 90 degrees Fahrenheit. A detergent that won't impart any foreign odors to the eggs is also used. After washing, the eggs are rinsed with a warm water spray containing a chemical sanitizer to remove any remaining bacteria, and then are dried to remove excess moisture. Every step of this whole process is scientifically designed and must be executed with extreme care, otherwise this procedure can lead to more damage than good. For example, the drying of eggs is crucial because a dry eggshell acts as a barrier to bacterial intrusion, while the presence of moisture makes the shell more permeable.
That's the same with humans, isn't it? If you touch a plug and your hands are wet, you're like 100,000 times more likely to get electrocuted. Or not a plug, but like something along the lines of that, like a switch. That's a faulty switch. If you touch it with wet hands, you're 1,000 times more likely to get electrocuted than if your hands are dry, because your skin's just a lot more. It's just not as stable then, or whatever the fucking words are. I know what I'm saying. I guess it's similar with chicken eggs. Weird comparison, but
exposing it to a pathogen attack. Furthermore, moisture itself may act as a medium for bacterial growth, and water provides an excellent vehicle for pathogens such as salmonella. The right temperature of warm washing water is important because water colder than the egg could cause the contents of the egg to contract, sucking polluted water in through the shell. Results may get worse if a facility is not careful enough to regularly change the washing water and eggs are left to sit in the dirty bath. With such high risk of bacteria, if cleaned improperly, the UK and almost all of the world except the US believe that eggs should not be washed or cleaned before they're sold to consumers. As far as dirty eggs are concerned,
eggs should not be washed or cleaned because such practices can cause damage to eggshell, which is an effective barrier to bacterial ingress with an array of... Oh my days. So that's why we don't clean... Bro, that's nuts. It's the complete opposite.
The EU's egg marketing law encourages good husbandry on farms. Because eggs can't be cleaned or washed, it's in the farmer's best interest to produce the cleanest eggs possible, as no one is going to buy their eggs if they're dirty. This may not sound too convincing to you, but there's more to it. An egg carries a thin layer of coating on its outer surface called cuticle. This layer naturally protects eggs from almost all contamination and also keeps the eggs fresh for longer periods. Washing eggs damage most of this protective layer and makes them vulnerable to contamination from pathogens and other microorganisms. In absence of washing, an egg is capable of protecting itself naturally, and if care is taken while handling the eggs, the contamination of kitchen environments can also be eliminated. The UK, thus, believes that a little care is better than the huge risk and cost of washing eggs. Another thing that makes British eggs and American eggs different to one another is how they're stored. In the UK and almost everywhere in Europe, you can see eggs sitting in unrefrigerated shelves of supermarkets. The EU regulations stipulates that eggs should in general not be refrigerated before selling to the final consumer. Chilled eggs, when left outside at room temperature during transit between the supermarket and the customer's home, may sweat and form moisture on its surface, facilitating the growth of bacteria and probably their ingression into the egg. The American system, on the other hand, instructs its seller to refrigerate eggs under 40 degrees Fahrenheit in order to decrease the risk of salmonella. Salmonella isn't a big problem in the UK because European farmers have been vaccinating their hens against salmonella since the 19...
Oh, what? So that salmonella is a lot less likely. I mean, it doesn't happen as much in the UK as opposed to the US, or in Europe as opposed to the US, because they vaccinate their chickens or the chicks or whatever. That's another interesting one, man. I didn't know any of this kind of stuff. Who would have thought eggs would be so interesting?
90s and have received good results. Vaccination in the US is not a common practice. Because of all of these differences in how eggs are processed and stored in the two nations, British eggs are significantly richer in taste. But how would you know? British eggs can't be sold in the US, and the US ones in the UK.
He always mentions just the UK and the US, but the title says across Europe. But yeah, man, I mean, I wasn't expecting this. It's weird because we drug our chickens or chicks in a good way, I guess you could say, in a good way for us to avoid getting things like salmonella. Obviously, it still can happen, of course, but I didn't really realise there was much of a difference until now. So basically, what we do is we don't put our eggs in the fridge, or when they're in the shops, they're not in the fridge. We give our chickens drugs, vaccinate them, and in the US, you clean your eggs. In here, we don't clean them because there's worries that it will smash them open, which sounds interesting because, I mean, still cleaning them sounds like the better thing to do because sometimes you'll get a big amount of shit on your egg, bro, and you're just not wanting to eat it, I'm not going to lie. And in the US, there's a process where you just go crazy in cleaning the actual egg. And I mean, yeah, there's obviously benefits in both, but it's just interesting to see something that I never thought I'd look at before, and it's actually kind of like, wow, okay, it works like that then. In a place like, again, the UK and the US, you would have just thought you could do it the same. It would be illegal to have an egg from the UK and the US. Like, that just blows my mind. And vice versa, but it is what it is, right? Vaccination in the US is not common practice. Don't know if this was intentional or not, but this still made me laugh. You forgot to mention one thing. In Europe, it's not allowed to keep chicken... Wait, really? That's not true. That's not true. They're definitely in the UK, aren't they? Obviously they are. For this guy, apparently Europe equals the UK. That's what I was thinking. Don't show for English-speaking countries, kids. There'll be dragons. The UK has their own regulations. Text clearly reads Commission Regulation European Community. Just for clarity, this isn't British regulation, but rather an EU regulation as exactly the same in every EU country. Living in Europe for several years, I've noticed a lot of eggs, but I buy still have feathers. Yet feathers stuck on them 100%. Something I never saw in the US. Now I know why. Yeah, man, you get feathers sometimes. It's weird. It is kind of strange, but the more you know, right? British eggs are significantly richer in taste, but how would you know? Any American who has had eggs straight from the chicken calf knows. Wait, what did you? What's a chicken co-op? What the hell is chicken co-op? Is it like a place where you get eggs made differently? US. Oh, coops. Okay, co-op's a shop in the UK, right? That's why I said that. That's why I said it like this, not chicken coop. Co-op or coop is co-op in the UK. There's actually shops called that. I was confused for a second, alright? I'm not dumb, I swear. I raise chickens, I have to agree with the European method. Oh yeah, I guess if you have chickens in your house or in your garden or whatever, you can have the eggs how you want. But I mean, yeah, interesting topic. Let me know what you think about this. If you've tried both eggs, what are your thoughts on either? But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this one. Until next time, like, subscribe, and peace.